I think television, the landscape of television has changed a lot in the last 5 or 10 years. Alan co-created Master of None, and I think that was part of this movement where you're seeing people on camera doing things that they should have been doing for a long time that people just didn't really care about, and now all of a sudden it feels like audiences have kind of caught up, and seeing people from all different walks of life and socioeconomic levels and the diversity of cast, I think is something that audiences expect now. And when you don't do it, it feels like it's kind of from the Stone Ages. The immigrant experience is something that just touches on all of us, and whether or not you're an immigrant yourself or a child or your friends or whatever, it's incredibly relatable, and we wanted the stories to feel universal.
Rarely do you hear an idea that you're immediately like, I see that show.
It should have already existed.
It should have already existed. But also the fact is, before now, it really couldn't have existed. Before
maybe.
streaming, I don't think mainstream,
It could not have been on a
networks
network. I don't
Yeah,
think
they would not have
mainstream
taken a
would.
shot on this. And it just felt immediately, we were like, okay, that feels like there are going to be enough stories and there are going to be enough different types of stories. You could do this show literally forever. Every immigrant story is interesting, and it just felt like it was a great way to make sort of these half-hour little movies that were completely different in tone. Really.
After our movie came out, The Big Sick, we were approached to produce a lot of stuff. It's constant peanut butter, but the TV show, you guys want to do it? And this was the only thing that we attached ourselves to, because I think we wanted to kind of put something good and entertaining and something we wanted to watch into the world. And this was all of those things.
What I love about the show also is that, yes, obviously some people connect to episodes that are about their own country of origin. Like, for instance, there's an episode called we renamed it the Grand Expo Prize Winners. But, and I worked on that one and went on the cruise, and I love that episode. But I also love the one about the Nigerian cowboy, and I also love the one about the Mexican squash player. And so I feel like, what's one of our favorite things about the show is you're connecting to these people not just based on what they look like or what they don't look like. You're basing it on who they are as people and what their interests are and what their goals and their dreams are. And what we found is, people kind of want the same things.
Yeah.
They want to be safe, they want to be secure, they want to have a job, and they want to
fall in
find love.
Yeah.
And that's really a common thread. But I named a bunch of episodes, so I couldn't pick, but.
Everyone.
I think everyone. We wanted this to be a family show. We really wanted this to be a show that everybody could watch with their friends or grandparents or grandkids or whatever. That was one of the things that we discussed a lot. So I really think the audience is everyone, and all the stories are so different from one another. The tones are so different that I don't think it's really pitched towards any specific audience.
That being said, we don't know if everyone will watch it, but it would be great.
I hope literally everyone in the world watches it.
Man, I think it's a worthwhile goal, if lofty. But the show is kind of designed this way for a certain reason as an anthology. I mean, that's not the easiest show to pull off or sell, right? But it's an anthology, so we could just tell different stories about people, and that in itself is kind of like, meant to be an act of creating empathy and connecting audiences to different kinds of people. And so that itself is supposed to create a sense of America that's really relevant right now. So we hope it can engage on that level and change people's minds, sure.
Wow. Well, the sun, the
That's
final
what I was
episode,
gonna
I
say.
think is a very powerful episode. I think the Jaguar about the squash player, I think that one's really, really, really good because we got to do basically
Like a little sports
a
movie.
sports movie in a half hour. Yeah.
But I think, it's it's an easy show to watch. I think that's the thing. I think when I've talked to friends about it, they're like, oh, it seems like it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful to watch just because it's an important show or whatever. But no, it's just an entertaining show. It goes down easy. It's like a comforting kind of warm thing to watch. So I think all of them are that way. But I think The Sun is one that is, to me, both our highest highs and our saddest sads are contained in that episode. And also the drag queen Gigi Devane. So.
We're collecting the stories right now. I mean, I think that with an anthology series, I think that you want to continue to surprise the audience. And I think that we're trying to be ambitious. I mean, we're talking about an episode that takes place in the 1830s, kind of set in Ellis Island. And we're talking, we also want to really get into communities. We didn't quite do enough. A lot of the stories in season 1 almost feel like fish out of water stories, where it's someone's kind of experience coming to the States and they don't know anyone and they're trying to fit in. And with season 2, we're talking about Little Saigon in Orange County, or the Somali community in Minneapolis, and really kind of delving into what it's like when a whole group of people has migrated to the same place, and what of their culture are they holding on to? What is their relationship like to America?
Bigger and sicker. Lost in New York.
Hopefully not in real life.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. You know, they've we discussed it at some point,
Yeah.
but we're not there
It took
quite
us
yet.
10 years after the events of The Big Sick to make The Big Sick. So talk to us in another 10 years and we'll see where we are.
Another 7 years.
Yeah, maybe we will.